Hello everyone. Today I want to introduce the concept of acellular growth factors to you. So acellular growth factors are not necessarily new. They've actually been around for quite a while, but we've known about a compound or a structure called exosomes within cells for many years. And those exosomes actually contain growth factors and the blueprints actually to maintain balance within a cell. So if a cell wanted to send a signal to another cell about what it should be doing or what it could be doing, an exosome is one of the ways that cells communicate with each other. And they sort of send these blueprints back and forth of instructions on how to do certain things. And those functions are actually to maintain balance within the system, to keep the cell healthy, to keep it performing its job. And if the cell's not performing its job, to help get it back on track. So acellular growth factors can actually be used in many different ways. We're using them to help rejuvenate and heal joints that are broken or dysfunctional. We're actually using them systemically throughout the body to heal chronic inflammation. Maybe someone has other infections inside their body from viruses or other bacteria or other types of agents inside their body. And we're using these acellular growth factors to help get the body to recognize the infection, correct the underlying problem, and then move the body into a state of healing. So the way that this works is that within these little vesicles, within these pockets, this information that's contained there is typically in the form of messenger RNA or microRNA. And for those of you guys who are kind of on the edge of scientific nerdyism, this is basically the instructions on how to make certain proteins inside an environment. And so when you give the cell the blueprints it needs to operate optimally, to encode for the proteins that it needs to maintain its optimal function, then the cell will incorporate those proteins and begin to correct any abnormalities that are going on inside the cell. So acellular growth factors are actually being used in a lot of different ways. The first way that I want to talk to you about is how we use them inside a joint to heal a dysfunctional or arthritic joint. So basically, inside an arthritic joint or a joint that's been damaged, you have too much inflammation and not enough healing. And when we use the exosomes, which we've already talked about how they encode or they promote balance, once we inject those exosomes or these acellular growth factors into the joint, what we see is that the inflammation comes down, the joint starts to heal and remodel itself, and then the joint can function normally again. All right, so another way that we're using these acellular growth factors is actually through a systemic application. So if someone has an autoimmune disease, maybe they have a chronic neurodegenerative condition, and we use these acellular growth factors intravenously, systemically, to help calm down the inflammation within the brain, heal the damage done to the body and to the nerves, and then we're seeing that these people start to regain more function. We see that their memory can improve. Things like they were having trouble walking before. Maybe their gait was unstable and they weren't really able to walk a long distance. So those problems start to get better. It takes about 3 to 6 months before we really see an improvement, because it takes that long for the growth factors to actually reach their full potential. And a final way that we're using acellular growth factors in our practice is actually for longevity and as an anti-aging measure. So we know that over time, our body tends to get complacent, that we have inflammation in our system that our body doesn't correct. So using these growth factors intravenously is allowing us to correct inflammation in our bodies before it reaches a level where it's causing widespread systemic disease. So this is one of the new and most exciting therapies that we have at Compass Cellular Healing. If this sounds like something that you would be interested in, or maybe you know someone who needs a therapy like this, please give us a call at Compass Cellular Healing, 615-307-7246.